What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it's wonderful to have all of you with us. A big hello. Welcome to our friends watching on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to John and Summer Raymer and the Zion Network who are putting us out right now to all of you. And big hello to the members of our Zoom room who are with us. And tonight is a really fun show. We started, as those of you that are regulars know, I'm blessed, or both Omashar and I are blessed to be part of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. And honestly, almost all the people that are part of the EL group, Evolutionary Leaders, are 50, 60, and even older. And it's a wonderful group of colleagues, and many of them have been on the show many times. But from the moment I got involved, kept saying, we need younger people. We need to bring in younger people. Well, finally, with the blessing of Reverend Deborah Moldow, we started the New Generation Leaders for an Awakening World Synergy Group. And tonight you're going to meet some of the core founding members. And we're always adding new people, including a brand new person that I'm meeting for the first time tonight, coming to us all the way from Japan. So it's really, really wonderful. And so we're going to be meeting some of these leaders, hearing their vision for an awakening world, and then what they're doing to create the world that we all want, a world of peace and love and harmony. So I'm going to briefly let you know who's with us tonight. Coming to us all the way from Japan, a brand new friend, a new leader. It's Miki Kawamura. Welcome, Miki.
Hello, nice to see you all tonight.
And I want to thank Mickey's good friend, Tess Cacciatore is with us. And Tess, which you see, I think some of you saw before, the Garden of Peace Project. Tess and Mickey are involved in something really wonderful, Yumi's Universe. So we'll learn a little bit more about that. And then some of our new generation leaders that are with us, providing music and wisdom. Hannah Bork is back with us tonight after being at Burning Man. She survived the burn, and she's with us, and it's great to have you with us, Hannah.
Indeed it is. Hello.
It's really, really fun. And a lot of our Awakening World leaders are in Europe. So I did pre-records. So we're going to hear from Simon and from Dominique and from our beloved Tatiana Speed, who's playing at a music festival right now. Also, Marley Rose is going to be joining us a little bit later. But speaking of the Rose, here is my co-host for the evening, the wonderful Maggie Rose Lacosta. Welcome, Maggie, back to the Awakening World.
Aloha. Thank you, Scott. It's so great to see everyone and be here this evening.
Maggie, you've been really from the very ground floor. You've been a co-founder of the New Generation Synergy Group. So what would you like to share with our audience as kind of an introduction of who you all are and what you all are doing?
Yay. Well, thank you, Scott, for igniting that with RevDev. It's a beautiful global group of leaders who are under 40. And then the elder generation is also in the group, and they offer different advice or connections, mentorship. And we also just share almost kind of in a roundtable circle about different projects that are inspiring and different projects that might need help or assistance. And so really it's a group all about co-creation and all about helping the new earth and focusing on that vision of the Garden of Eden anchored on earth.
Beautiful. And we're going to hear some of those visions tonight, learn more from Maggie and the others. But we always like to start our show rocking and rolling with our beloved house musical artist, the one and only Omashar. Here he is.
That would be me, and welcome everybody. And yes, I did not go to Burning Man, so because of that, we are going to dance into greatness with each other. So get out your dancing shoes and get off that couch and let's went. I have a Russian friend who got the textures, the terms mixed up, and every time we wanted to go somewhere, he always said, "Let's went." So, are we ready? I think we are. World of ours, we're here to thrive together, making sure that nobody gets left behind. As the light of truth clears all the stormy weather, and the mother in us all begins to rise. Through our heart of hearts, we start to know our greatness. As our strength returns, our spirit guides us through. Our eyes behold the rising of the phoenix, and the dance of life begins to birth anew. World to change, we need to love each other. What reveal affects the scene we see out there. Look around, forgive your sisters and your brothers. For us all, the time is now to build anew. As our strength returns, our spirit guides us the phoenix, and the dance of life begins to birth anew. Through a heart of hearts, we start to know our greatness. As our strength returns, our spirit guides us through. Our eyes behold the rising of the phoenix, and the dance of life begins to birth anew.
Wow, that was awesome. Let's all twinkle and send lots and lots and lots of love to Omashar. I mean, you got people up dancing. I've never seen up dancing on the show before, my friend. That was pretty
All
cool.
right. That would be Mickey.
Well, definitely Mickey, for sure, for sure.
That's so fun. It's yes, I love that song. It's very, very cool. And we are all together as one dancing into greatness, which is where that song comes from. So hand in hand, walk together.
And we can find Dancing into Greatness and all of Omashar's albums at omashar.bandcamp.com. This is really, I give yourself the gift of Omashar and his music. Everything he does is so good. So you can always get Omashar on Wednesdays and Saturday nights, but you can also get him all the time by going to Bandcamp and getting his music. And he will be back with us later on in the show. Thank you, brothers, so much.
Thank you.
Well, before I introduce our next couple of guests, I'm going to play a video. Some of you might remember it. We played this video once before on the show during the Illuminate Film Festival micro shorts. So some of you might remember it. And it's really, really fun. The two people at the core of this video are our next guests. Let's take a look.
Springing into peace, oh, can't you see? Like the blossoms of our cherry tree, growing love from seeds we sow, connecting hearts with each piece. Oh, we are one and each unique in our garden of peace. Like the blossoms of our cherry tree, growing love from seeds we sow, connecting hearts with each piece. Oh, prevail on earth. See no light from your time. May peace prevail on earth. Garden of peace. May peace prevail on earth.
It is my honor to bring the creator and editor of the Garden of Peace project, my old friend from a long time, Tess Cacciatore, is with us.
Hello, Scott. Thank you so much for having us on the show today. And it was so sweet for you to replay Garden of Peace, which everyone knows beautiful Kristen Hoffman's voice. She and I co-wrote that song for the Illuminate Film Festival. And there's a lot of things that sprung out of that. And we're here to share.
Well, it's a beautiful, that video, it brings tears to my eyes.
Oh.
And I love the little Ganesha, because I'm a big fan of Ganesha.
That's
And of
Robbie.
course,
He's the Indian elephant. He's one of the
Robbie,
main characters.
Well, in a moment, I'm going to have you tell us all about Yumi's universe, but I would love for you to introduce our special guest coming all the way from Japan. Would you like to tell our audience a little bit about Miki Kawamura?
I am so excited to introduce her and to work with Miki. She comes from the great lineage of the Goy Foundation, which is the creator of May Peace Prevail on Earth. Her great-grandfather was the one that came out of World War II. He started the prayer, May Peace Prevail on Earth, and over 300,000 peace poles have been planted around the world. She is the direct lineage of Masahisa Goy, and her mother is a dear friend of ours, along with her aunties, and the whole family are part of the global advisory board of Yumi's Universe. I can't wait for you to hear about what she's doing in the Youth Ambassador Program and how she's tied into Yumi's Universe. So I love you, Miki. I'm so glad. I can't wait to meet you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much, Tess, and everyone for having me here today.
Well, you certainly do have an amazing lineage, Mickey. And we've had Fumi for many years, comes every year and talks about the peace poles. I'm blessed to have a peace pole. Tess has a peace pole. But going right into kind of the theme for tonight, as a young leader, what is your vision for an awakening world?
So my vision of an awakening world is when everyone realizes their sacred divine essence that we all have in our hearts. And I feel like awakening begins in the moment when we are able to realize that it doesn't that what we achieve, possess, or appear doesn't matter, but within each of us we have the essence of love and wisdom and inner sacredness. And I feel like when we are all able to realize this sacredness that we all possess, and when we are able to see it within others, I feel that we are able to, and when we are able to live in this sacredness, I feel this is when we can achieve this awakening world.
It's beautiful and very inspiring. And I know that you are already actively involved in creating peace. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the world?
So I've been dedicated, peace is one of my core values for my whole life. And I've actually started peace projects since when I was from third grade. And the beginning was that when I heard a story about the poverty that exists in Japan, unlike many other countries, you wouldn't see homeless people in our countries in the streets. But then when I heard this story from a woman, this sparked my project, or like my passion towards peace. And currently I'm working with Tess on this Yumi project, where I was given the opportunity to be the voice of Yumi, the main character. And other than that, also been working on the Peace Ambassador project, where I've gathered peace messages from across 70 countries from 1,200 youth on their passion and message of peace to the world, which we played it at the Osaka Kansai Expo, which is a World Expo hosted in Japan this year, and it's also going to be played at October 1st in the biggest Osaka Expo arena that holds 16,000 people. And with this connection of youth peace members, in the future, I would like to create a bigger network where we are all able to connect it with not just the surface levels of nationality, religion, or gender, or any other titles, but then when we are able to connect and unite with the same desire for peace. And I feel this would also lead to an awakening world when we are able to connect with our inner sacredness and our passion and desire for a better world and for a peaceful world. Thank you.
Wow. And here she is with one of the peace poles we talked about so much. I love that photo of you. It's so
Oh, thank
fun.
you.
And let's all just take a moment, because I know most of us are feeling very inspired listening to what you just shared. Looking at that photo of Mickey and the peace pole, let's all just take a breath and for 30 seconds hold that vision that Mickey will grow up in a world where truly peace is the predominant prevailing energy on this planet. Mm. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And I'm going to bring your partner here, Tess, up, because both of you are, different generations, and that's a big part of what tonight's show is. We're going to be hearing from different generations of leaders. Tess, what would you like to share with our audience?
I believe that now is the time. And I'm so honored to be here. As I mentioned to you before the show, Scott, it was over 30 years ago that I started the World Trust Foundation. And it was back in 1992 that we started this organization to bridge cultures and to bridge nonprofit organizations to come together and to work in unity. But back in the day, they didn't want to play with each other in the sandbox. They were very divisive, and it was very hard to unify people. So in the year 2000, I started the Youth Ambassador Program. And the technology wasn't there because I envisioned that kids could communicate with each other and put videos up there to say what they wanted to see for the world. So coming to present moment and to be here with Mickey, I feel it's so significant and amazing that through the Goy Foundation and the multi-generational work that they've done, that Mickey, this beautiful voice, the beautiful visionary, who's actually doing what I wanted to do and what I saw so many years ago. So it's a blessing. And I can't wait to see where they go and where the children and the youth grow. And that's why Yumi is so important. Yumi is a children's book. I have them right here just to quickly share. This is the Keepers of the Garden of Peace, which is the cursor to the Garden of Peace song that Kristen and I wrote together. And this came out in July. And this one's coming out on World Peace Weekend. And this is the enchanted tale of compassion, friendship, and peace. And this is the middle grade book. So we want to start from a very early age and be able to bring peace education and have the voices of the youth be heard so that they can grow into a culture and that we can grow together. And I have to do a quick shout out because Wynn and Douglas Wagner are on in the Zoom room or somewhere watching this. And I just want to say I love you so much because I've known them for over 30 years and they have become the wind under the wings of Yumi's Universe. And I just wanted to do a big shout out to them and Dr. Marty Brown, Dr. Marty Casey, and all the people that were there in the Meet in the Middle. So there's so many good tie-ins of what's happening in the world and being able to give a platform for the youth to be heard.
Mm-hmm. So for people to learn more about Yumi's Universe, the website is just that, yumisuniverse.net.
Yes.
universe.net. And that's where you can learn all about the book. And there's our gal.
There's our gal. That's
And
a
I
7-minute video that was animated by Joel Christopher Payne, who's my cohort in this whole mission of illustration and animation. I have to do a big shout out to him. He brought these characters to life beautifully. And as we know, Mickey plays the character of Yumi's voice. And so I encourage everybody to go there, but be patient with the website because we're still building it behind the scenes because everything is so fresh and new. It's been such a blessing. Everything seems to be expanding in such a quick place.
Now, I assume the vision is an animated television series.
Animated television series, and also what I'm really excited about is the dome experience, that immersive experience. So there's over 4,000 domes around the world, and we work quite closely with the Vortex Dome, with Mark Lejeune and Ed Lance and many other people. We're creating behind the scenes the 360 immersive experience. So people, school tours, families can come in and experience the whole Yumi's universe and really be able to spread the message of peace.
Wow. I'm bringing my co-host Maggie Rose on for a moment. Maggie, I think this is maybe all new for you, the Yumi's universe. But as my co-host and my partner tonight, how's this land for you?
It's so exciting. Oh my goodness. I love seeing that. And I can totally see a cartoon with it. Do you guys have, yeah.
We have 13 episodes, so if anybody out there is listening, we're going to be pitching to the networks and hopefully getting this out there, and we're spreading the message far and wide. We're planting a peace pole, get this, in the Hollywood Hills. So including 300,000, Hollywood needs a really good energy shift, if we all may just be honest about it. And so next Thursday, September 18th, we're doing the 10th annual Gwen Luminary Awards. Global Women's Empowerment Network is my nonprofit organization, and we honor and shine a spotlight on individuals and organizations that are making a difference in the world. So we're honoring the Goy Foundation. So Maki and her daughter Mickey are coming to receive the award, as well as Musi Halu will be honored, but he's in Ethiopia, so he won't be able to come, and many other award honorees. And there's so many things to express there. And hopefully, if you all are available and in Los Angeles and want to come be a part of this historic peace planting for the pole in the Hollywood Hills, get a hold of us. There's still a few tickets left.
I'm going to your website, the Global Women's Empowerment Network.
Yes.
And is there a place here where we can learn a little bit more about what's happening?
Yes. Again, all the websites are being rebuilt and reorganized. But I will put the link up there on the global Gwen.global so people can go get tickets.
Okay, yeah, definitely put that in, and I'll pull it back up. And it's very, very exciting. Mickey, any last words you'd like to share with our audience about more vision for the future?
I just want to say a big thank you for all of the people who have been supporting me today. I feel like the youth members have so much passion towards peace, but it's because of all this adult members and people with so much wisdom who has been supporting what we want to do and how we want to create this world of peace. So I always believe that it's not only just the youth or only just this adult generations that are creating peace, but when there's this bridge between different generations, it's when we are able to create true peace. So I am really grateful for all the opportunities the adult members has been giving me until today, and I would like to carry on all this voices of peace from them to the next generation as well. And thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to read a couple of comments, Mickey, from our audience that have come in. And I always like to include our audience as much as we can. Ayana, in response to the song that we just saw, writes, "Oh my God, that song is so precious. And it also brings tears to my eyes. It's so sincere and sweet. It makes me appreciate all the incredible music and guests that we have on the Global Peace Tribe." And honestly, I'm not going to read that part of it. Appreciation for the awakening world. One of the things that is so beautiful is that we are truly a global peace tribe. And Mickey, it's so wonderful starting the show with you coming to us from Japan. And later on in the show, we're going to hear from people from America, Europe. It's peace is really the universal longing of our hearts, don't you think?
Yes.
I'm going to bring Tess up one more time. How many peace poles have gotten out into the world now?
Over 300,000. And just today, I unwrapped my peace pole. So at 300,000 plus to whatever that is, I'm a proud owner of the peace pole here in my home.
Oh, that's wonderful. I have a peace pole, which is when people come to my driveway, the first thing they see is our peace pole. So,
Yes, and we got to go see Dr. Marty Casey's peace pole in Ferguson, St. Louis, a few weeks ago in Meet in the Middle. And I just have to say the significance of being able to walk with the police department to the peace pole in Ferguson with the significance of the Brown family and what happened with their son. It was truly a representation of how we could come together as a community to make a difference.
yeah, so many of the people who were there in middle of America, we did a whole show on it before they went. And of course, they're all Marty and Ben and Kristen are all regular contributors to the Global Peace Tribe. So we love all those people.
Yeah.
Tess, wonderful work you're doing. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Get us that link so I can pop it in the chat box, and I'll also go to it one more time tonight. And Mickey, it's wonderful to meet you, and I hope that you'll be part of our New Generation Synergy group.
Yes.
Yes, of course, I would love to. Thank you so much too.
Fantastic. Well, you're going to meet some of your new colleagues as we continue with the show tonight. So you'll be meeting some of these may end up becoming close friends and colleagues of yours. So how exciting.
Yay, thank you.
Well, the very first one of those people is our good friend Hannah Bork. And she is back from Burning Man. And she also is back from Guatemala. She was on our show a few times. And then she went down to Guatemala I guess she ended up staying there for about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so welcome back from your travels. And I'd love to just start by asking you, what are some of the highlights, either from Guatemala or Burning Man, that you can share with our audience?
Thank you so much, Scott. It's such an honor to be back on The Awakening World with you and to get to share also this collective of new generation of evolutionary leaders and coming together with our shared vision for the evolution of consciousness is really exciting. And yeah, I'm just landing back in Marin County where I live after a couple of months of travel, and it started off the summer going to Guatemala, and that was a very deep spiritual initiation on a soul level for me, and also to encounter new layers of consciousness emerging in connection with the elements of nature, water, the air, the fire, the earth. These intelligences really spoke to me, and I came into a deeper communion with that feminine intelligence of the earth itself in a deeper way, and just deepened in my ability to trust myself and my intuitive embodied presence in the world. Yeah, it was a really profound experience, getting to have Mayan fire ceremonies and working with Akich, who pray and commune with the element of the fire. And when I say like the living intelligences of the elements spoke, I truly mean like the consciousness of these elements that create all life, all matter. They have a wisdom and they have messages for us, and when we come into that deep place of presence within ourselves and clarity, we can receive messages. And I actually had the sincere honor of getting to attend a Mayan fire ceremony on the playa at Burning Man, where I just came out of over a week there, which was an amazing experience. And it was complete divine timing to even find out there was going to be a Mayan fire ceremony held on Playa. And so I arrived, and this woman, an Akik, named Margarita, she was offering elements to the fire, and we were in communion and prayer. And one of the messages the fire gave to us while we were there at Burning Man was for each and every single one of us as human beings to show up with greater presence in our environment and with more of a spirit of offering for the land, offering for the air, the fire, the water, these living intelligences that we're all made up of, the nature that we are connected to, this body of God source life. And the fire was really inviting each of us to step into greater care, greater presence in the places that we attend, exist in, and to show up in that spirit of making an offering. And an offering can be as simple as an acknowledgement of giving thanks or a blessing, even a song for the land. I was just so deeply moved at how the thread of my personal journey this summer continues to weave together and get deeper into communion with nature, and how I really feel the beauty of so many souls incarnated on earth right now here to help evolve our collective consciousness back into greater coherence and connection with each other and with nature and with the divine.
And unmute. There are people asking questions about Burning Man. I heard most of us heard that it got off to a rough start with lots of wind and mud. And for people who haven't been to Burning Man, can you describe it a little bit for people?
Yeah, I would be happy to. I know the news kind of tends to report the negative elements, but I'll just speak from my personal experience that those rains, there's a wisdom to them, and what I felt was actually when I was asking, Spirit, God, about why we were inundated with so much rains and water at the front, at the beginning of the burn. She answered back to me to bond us as a camp. There was a camp I was a part of that is a collective of healers, and we offer so many workshops and spaces for people to get connected to themselves and their authentic expression. And it's called Naked Heart. And so as a camp, we were, united inside within the camp itself for 3 days while there were rains. And it just really deepens my appreciation for the collective care when we come together with a shared purpose to feed and take care of one another. I really find that an inspiring element of humanity. And I also know that it was really challenging for people at Burning Man this year with the rains, because many camps had to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild and continued to be wiped out by storms, and some were able to rebuild and some just had to adapt to the changes in structure and what they could offer because of the weather. But yeah, it's a very it requires a lot of grit and a lot of cooperation and a lot of communication and so much energy and creative genius to pull something like Burning Man, a city created for a week, together in the desert, where we really come together and offer appreciation for the temporary, ephemeral existence, having a temple, having offerings be constructed for a week and then burnt, just for the purpose of knowing we're wildly alive and this is a temporary experience. I think Burning Man is an incredible container for the evolution of consciousness. That is what I have seen. This was my third burn. My first experience was 9 years ago, and each time I've gone, my personal experiences, I've evolved as a soul. I have connected with other souls who are aligned in their mission, and what we can create together is absolute magic and a lot of fun. So Burning Man is a special place.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that with our audience. And the question of the day that I'm asking all of our wonderful presenters, what's your vision for an awakening world, Hannah?
Mm.
What are some of the ways you're contributing to make it so?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. So the image that comes to mind for me is really this evolving back into a sense of unity together. And I see us here as souls incarnated on earth as part of the fabric of life, or cells in the body of God, if you will. And for a long time on this planet, we've been operating from a place of separation, feeling like God is out there, that nature is maybe, we're separate from nature in some way, and definitely separate from each other. And my experience as I have opened myself up to becoming curious about what we're doing here in this life at this time, and starting to ask deeper questions and evolve my awareness spiritually, is finding out that we are intimately connected and have never been separated from this God source divinity, just temporarily forgotten. And also to, as we come into that place of alignment within ourself and into a greater sense of service to this life, service to the God source, to the earth, it's actually like taking our place as a healthy cell in the body of God, where we can begin to work synergistically with the flow of life and the energy that we're being asked to bring forth here, so that we can evolve the paradigm into more of the new earth consciousness, where we are really honoring of the health and wisdom of our bodies, the cooperation of working synergistically with other human itself. We're not in this extractive sort of self-serving negative ego pattern, but we're actually evolving by meeting ourselves more deeply and coming into a good way of living with ourselves and one another for the planet. And this is a delicate process, but that's really the vision, is that one day, as more and more of us come online and recognize each and every one of us has a soul mission, has a divine purpose in which we incarnated here, and we become like the embodiment of our higher self, begin working synergistically with the others, with the elements, with the God source energy guiding us, to act and move as one body of God, as one synergistic, cooperative field of life, rather than a more kind of fragmented, warring world that is still currently a paradigm on this planet. But I really believe peace begins within ourselves, and that we can begin to embody that and have that as the presence that we move through this world from. And it is a ripple effect that then we learn and evolve from each other and create greater spaces of synergy and peace and just good living together here on earth.
It's beautiful. Thank you. Susan Blomquist writes, Hannah, your sharing and voice are witness to the opening of hearts and learning cooperation.
Mm.
Oh, that's a really beautiful way of doing it. And then Dr. Laura has a question for you. She says, Hannah, you are so eloquent about life and source. It is wonderful to hear your perceptions. Do most of your young friends feel the same way?
That's such a nice personal question. And I would love to just say that, like, the majority of my close friends I feel also share a very deep sense of like spiritual commitment to growth and evolution, but my experiences, I can definitely validate, have been unique to the lens that I've developed, and that really came about through direct experience with the Divine Mother, Holy Sophia, about 10 years ago. And that experience was a unique initiation to awakening in my life. And yes, other young people in my friend circles and my community also share a deep sense of reverence and commitment to growth and embodied change and consciousness. But perhaps the lens and our experiences are unique. But yeah, I feel aligned with some really revolutionary and evolutionary minded people.
That's good to know. It's very good to know. One of the things I love about you is you have a beautiful voice and you play beautiful music. Would you be willing to bless us with a song?
I would love to. This is a song that I wrote. It's called Earth's Daughter. And I'm just preparing to film a music video for it in the next year. But yeah, I wrote it just as a devotion to nature and Gaia herself. I know the angels know my name. I've come to talk with them again. They're always whispering, whispering as they ride free on the wind. Holy Mother, I heard you crying out for who will come, who will heal the sisters and brothers, all my children, the sacred ones. I am swift as the wind blows, I am holy fire, I am pure as water, I am Earth's daughter. We are wounded and we are weary, so we summon the sovereign ones, ancient voices to guide us clearly into the battle, knowing love has won. Holy Mother, with tears of lightning, teach us how to end the war. Holy Father, I am not frightened. Give me courage to laugh at the storm. I am swift as the wind blows, I am holy fire. I am pure as water. I am earth's daughter. I am swift as the wind blows. I am holy fire. I am pure as water. I am earth's daughter. I know the angels know my name. I've come to talk with them again. They're always whispering, whispering as they ride free on the wind. Holy Mother, I heard you crying out for who will come, who will heal the sisters and brothers, all my children's sacred ones. I am swift as the wind blows. I am holy fire. I am pure as water. I am earth's daughter. I am swift as the wind blows. I am holy fire. I am pure as water. I am earth's daughter.
We're in a gallery view for us to all just send some love and appreciation for that beautiful song and the beautiful wisdom Anna shares with us.
And yes, Hannah, that was absolutely amazing. And I know that you noticed that your effects were not on. You did not need them. Your voice was so absolutely perfectly beautiful. It was, I think, better without. I received you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Omashar. Yeah, I noticed, and it's just surrender to the moment. Thank you
It's
for
good.
that.
I watched your eyes and I knew how it felt. However, you were perfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
There's a lot of comments coming in from the chat box. I'm going to read some of them. Ayada writes, Hannah, that was exquisite and powerful. Pam writes, Hannah, your song is a beautiful prayer. Beatrice writes, truly, Hannah, an all-time song you have created, so beautifully sung. And we can learn much more about Hannah by going to her website, which is her name, Hannah Bourke, BOURKE.com. And Hannah is, of course, a true evolutionary leader, a true singer-songstress. She's also a healer, and she does private sessions. She also has classes and events. She's a Reiki master. She does divine feminine healing and empowerment, psychic and healing services. She is truly a Renaissance woman. So to learn more about her services, again, go to Hannah, H-A-N-N-A-H, Hannah Bourke, BOURKE.com. And that's where you can learn more about her and even schedule a time to work with this amazing woman who will be back providing another song after tonight's healing and prayer time. So, Hannah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, I am now going to turn things over to my co-host and my dear friend Maggie Rose. Um, uh, Maggie, I love that we are co-hosting. We've done lots of things together, and we have a new relationship as co-hosts. So it's fun for me, and I hope it's fun for you.
Oh, I love it so much. Thank you. And Hannah, that was such a beautiful, sacred, heart-centered song. So thank you so much for sharing that.
I'll bring her back up for a moment. There she is.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Yeah.
Mhm.
Really
More, please. Definitely
Yeah.
record those.
Yeah, I would love to. And yeah, been an honor to get to connect with you through this group and excited to hear what you're ready to bring forth tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we're gonna bring up a beautiful, sweet angel sister soul named Marley. And so I'd love to invite Marley in, and thank you so much for being here. How do I even describe this beautiful, inspiring activist who just brings the powerhouse wherever she goes? She's an
Oh,
incredible relationship coach, masterful communicator, and also the founder of Gaia Temple, which is an incredible nonprofit that just helps the world in all these different ways, along with an angelic voice and helping people open and find their true voice. So, thank you so much for being here, Marley. And there's so much more I could say. Welcome.
thank you, Maggie. I'm so happy to be here in presence with you and Scott and Hannah and everybody else. What a beautiful introduction.
Mm, welcome. And as we have been doing throughout the show, the first thing we would like to start with is, what is your vision for an awakening world, and
Mm.
how do you see yourself playing in that role of helping bring that in?
What an incredible question. Well, I think an awakening world includes uh, a wholehearted embracing of the present moment. And for everyone to really come into presence, it means coming into a place of surrender. So just this week, a client asked me about chaos. She said, everybody around her is experiencing a lot of chaos. And what do you do in times of chaos? And I said, well, often chaos means that there's a lack of acceptance of what's going on, because while things can feel really turbulent around us, we always have the ability to attune to the emotion that will help us guide us to the next path. And so for me, the emotion that I'm always trying to guide people back to is love. Coming back to love, coming back to the truth of love, and recognizing again and again, where are there obstacles between me and love right now? And once you're able to start acknowledging that, then it really becomes a playful experience to start to self-reflect and look at yourself. So when I think of an awakening world, while we could go into systems designs, which I love, and community development, which I also love what that Gaia Temple is all about, it really truly starts with the self. And once someone is able to know themselves, from that place of knowing, from that place of acceptance, they can love themselves. And we're really only able to create an acceptance and a knowing and love of other through that first impression with the self. So what I would say is like more love. And Hannah was just talking about Naked Heart at Burning Man. They're my neighbors. I'm part of Camp Mystic, and it just feels so good to feel a little bit of playa dust here in this call. Hannah, thank you for speaking to Naked Heart and what it is that you represent. There's so much synergy here between us, and it feels really good. Another part that I would say for Awakening World is embracing our feminine intuition and feminine leadership. And that doesn't necessarily mean being female bodied. right? Because as we've seen, there are powerful women in leadership that are operating from very young-like characteristics, still staying within the structure and forms that have built what already exists. But for us to truly come into a new awakening, I'd like to see culture and society role model itself after Gaia, after the planet itself, to truly be in high states of reciprocity, abundance, beauty, and from that place of constantly turning our gaze towards the light rather than the shadow, because the two always coexist simultaneously, letting that become the safety to fully come back into surrender and presence so that we can be in touch with love. And love is another word for source or for spirit.
So beautiful. What an incredible response. Thank you for sharing that. And I see that you're in Hawaii right now,
Yay!
in the dome, it looks like.
I am.
Oh, and would you like to share anything about Hawaii Gaia Temple, the
Mhm.
gathering at the end of the year, or anything for this beautiful audience and to assist in bringing that awakening world?
Absolutely. So, as you know very well, Miss Maggie Rose here is one of the original co-founders of Gaia Temple. Whenever we found ourselves here on the Big Island of Hawaii during COVID, um, we were just part of communities and community restoration, and we were making music every night, and we were dancing, we were thriving in that culture of coming together at a time where people were being taught to stay apart. And during that time, I happened to have a chapel in Kayal, and so Maggie told me about a sovereignty structure called a 508c1a, and at the time, the vision was to be able to protect and steward large pieces of land through Gaia Temple. So Gaia Temple is really all about being in reverence to nature and recognizing that we have everything that we need right here all around us, and to truly open our eyes to the abundance and to the lessons that nature has to teach us. A large part of that path for myself has been being a water worker, following the water lines of the planet, praying with water, working with water, helping to restore the memory and the sentience of water that is still alive in many cultures around the world today, such as in Bali, Agama Tirtha is called the worshiping of water, where there's actually more water temples than there are neighborhoods. Here in Hawaii, Vai, water means wealth, and water is one of the elementals that is still used with. Actually, the base of the Hawaiian language, when we really go into it, each vowel represents an element. So Hawaiians, at the root of their language, are literally speaking in elemental mysteries: fire, earth, water, air. It's so powerful whenever you start to go into the historical context, as well as the stories and mythologies that are told through art, music, and dance, how much of a role nature and Gaia used to have in leadership within all of our systems of community development. So we have so much to learn there. And since then, this has grown into a very free-form, open, organic organization. We have hosted festivals at the Austin Capitol, Texas Capitol in Austin, called Harmonize for Humanity. We have had an incubator here in Hawaii that was based on a spiritual eco-village to really teach people regenerative systems and give them a firsthand experience of living with the land, living with the water, living with one another. That was in partnership with Elena Tonetti, a pioneer in the field of orgasmic birth, which leads me to where Gaia Temple is currently focusing a lot of our energy, is to really recognize that the way that humans are not only conceived, but really the way that they are birthed is a human rights issue. And whenever we start to go into the history of how it went from being a midwifery and a very shamanic passage and rite that was governed by women, that was then turned into a monetized thing, giving birth, that was then taken by patriarchy and stripped the women and the birth doulas and the midwives that had for generations helped bring humans in the right way to this planet were stripped of their rights, given fines, and even part of the witch trials. They were burned for knowing the deep reverence that comes with birth, separated from their own art, for medicalization. And then when we look at what's actually happening in the medical field, where it wasn't until even after the 2000s that in the United States, they acknowledged that newborn babies feel pain. They were still performing, for example, open heart surgery without anesthesia on newborn babies after 2000 in the United States. That's just like a minor example of what's going on in our medical industry. And when you think about the limbic imprint that happens at the time of birth, that is the upper limits of someone's entire lifetime. So when you ask me, what is my vision for an awakening world? And my answer is for every person to love themselves and to know themselves free from trauma. It's so important that we really start to look at our birthing rights. And so, anyways, we have some gatherings coming up. We are partnering with Tao Universe. We are hosting a camp there in Guatemala in December. Maggie's going to be there. My beloved will be there. There's a good group of us that are part of Gaia Temple. This will be the third gathering. The first two were in Ubud, Bali. And so it's a really beautiful community that's coming together that goes everywhere from blockchain, DAOs, cryptocurrencies, the future in technology, finance, and governance. And what Gaia Temple brings in is we bring the music, we bring the art, we bring the dance, and we really bring the heart to the movement, because Gaia Temple teaches that a cultural catalyst is best moved through heart, passion, art, music, and inspiration. Because while we can talk all day and we can get really high on one another's words, and that's super fun, unless something emerges from within a person, they're not going to have their own inherent awakening. And it has to come from inside of the individual for them to feel compelled to show up differently in a one-of-a-kind way that only they can do. And so that's the other thing about art, music, dance, and creativity is we're not trying to get everybody to see things the same way. We're actually really honoring harmony and our differences, and that our differences make us stronger, and that inclusion means acceptance that people are different, and that if we can really open up into receptive listening becomes a holistic, spherical way of engaging in our reality.
Marley, I'm always so blown away by your passion and your wisdom. You have such a beautiful combination of being wise and on fire with beautiful energy. It's awesome. Yeah. And I want to acknowledge our mutual friend Reverend Deborah Moldau, who first introduced Marley into our Global Peace Tribe world. What else would you like for our audience to know tonight?
Gosh, well, since we brought in Rev Deb, who I just admire greatly, she's truly a beautiful, I call it like master muses. When I find myself in expansion points, I'm always looking for people like Frida Kahlo, or like even the way that Dolly Parton has worked it. And Deborah is neither of those people. She's her own unique glitter bomb. And I've learned so much from Deborah. And one of those things is, and back at the beginning of Israel and Palestine, right before that happened, I was actually staying with Deborah in San Miguel de Allende. And, I'm staying in her home where she is for those of you that don't know, she helped create the Peace Pole Project with the United Nations that's all around the world. And she has beautiful Buddhist teachings all around her world, all around her house. She's an incredible reverend herself. And I was working with a client at that time who worked for the United Nations, and her job was she lived in Israel, and her job was to create human aid for Palestine and to be the peacemakers between Palestine and Israel. So before all of this began, the week before, we had our first session, and I said, "What is your biggest prayer?" And her biggest prayer was to see peace between Israel and Palestine. And that same week, a few days later, was when the bombing first began. And in that moment of absolute chaos, where all of a sudden I was holding the psyche of someone who was on the front lines of this, and in a unique way that no news coverage can cover, I was also being held by Reverend Deborah. You know, she was right there holding me as I was holding this other woman. And really what it helped me understand was the stronghold that we have around this planet through the United Nations with the 5 countries that are determining so much. And at times it can feel like we're really helpless. And so I think the biggest thing for that I learned through that reflection space with Rev Deb, and in this moment that something like the world was ending in many ways, for many people it did, is to keep yourself vigilant to what's really happening, but never let it overrun you. At any time, if you're separated from peace, at any time, if you're separated from love, then you're in the Maya, then you're in the illusion. And the best thing that we can do, regardless of what our beliefs are, regardless of what's happening around us, is to stay connected to love and to stay connected to peace in that state of surrender and understand that it has to be revealed to be healed. And right now, there are so many things that are being revealed in this awakening world because we're waking up. And if we weren't waking up, then none of this would be being revealed, right? And so it's really hairy and it's really yucky. But as someone who has gone all around the world, that has worked with incredible leaders around the world and met these organizations firsthand and been in the rooms, in the conversations that are showing this new form and structure that is already in place. When the dam breaks, the water will flow. And those sutures are already there for the water to flow. So in this moment, if you find yourself feeling helpless in any way, recognize that the best thing you can do is stay connected to your heart and pray. And just keep praying for the relief of fear, for the relief of blockages to love, for the access to hope, to the access of joy, to the access of surrender and presence, if that's right there where you are. Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway for this moment where we find ourselves. I think you're muted. Scott.
Boom. That is so powerful what you just shared. And it is interesting how all the different connections. I don't think you were here because you came on a little bit later, but our first guest was this wonderful young lady whose great-grandfather created the theme of May Peace Prevail on Earth, and whose grandmother started the Peace Pole Project. And there are now 300,000 peace poles. And you talked about the peace pole with Rev Deb without knowing, I think, that this had been our first guest tonight. So
amazing. Yeah, it really is a smaller network than we realize, and that makes us so much stronger.
Well, for people to learn more about Marley, I'm going to take people to a couple of websites. And the first one is GaiaTemple.org. GaiaTemple.org. And definitely, now tell us, there's a free program. What is this?
Oh, this is so fun. Okay, this is great. So if you sign up for this, and I'm actually just going to put it in the chat as well for everybody. But if you sign up for this free 30-day planetary awakening program, for 30 days, you're going to get an email sent to your inbox. And that email is going to have a creative journaling prompt for you to really go into deep states of self-reflection of what is your role right now in planetary awakening. It's also going to go into providing facts and statistics about amazing things that are happening right here, right now in the world that are not being covered in the news, right? So it's going to bring that boost of hope. And there's little tidbits of inspiration and connection that you're going to get every day. And it's up to you if you want to follow along, maybe you just want to dive in. And by doing that, you also are automatically invited to join the Gaia Temple Network, which is just a global community of people who are really showing up in spaces like this that you're leading, Scott.
Well, thank you. That's really cool. And I'm looking forward to participating in that. And if people want to learn more about Marley, her website is her name, Marley, Marly, Benedicto, Benedicto. That is such a great name. Marley Benedicto, it rhymes.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, and I just put these links right here in the chat for anybody that wants to join through my personal coaching. I'm offering also a free communication formula, because when it comes to love, sex, and relationships are really central to everything we do in life. Communication is one of the number one breakdowns and one of the number one successes to really help us feel seen, heard, and understood. And whenever we feel seen, heard, and understood, we can really move through just about anything, whether that is a transition in a relationship and a professional trajectory or something else that's going on in your life. So if you'd like access to that, I'll just send me an email at the email address and I'll send it straight to you. Okay.
Marley, you are so generous and such a bright light. I'm honored to be in connection and association with you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Scott. It's such a pleasure. And Maggie, I can't wait to see you in a couple of days. And everybody here on this call, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. It just brings so much joy to my heart to see that we have 57 people live. And I know so many more people who aren't here live that really care and that are a part of this movement. So thank you.
Yeah, we go out to about 150 Facebook groups, pages, and YouTubers. So hello to all those people watching out there. Thank you, Marley.
Thank you so much, Marley.
Mhm.
And we're going to stay right here with Maggie Rose, who's going to introduce us, share your vision for an awakening world. We haven't gotten your answer yet. And then share the wonderful work she's doing. Now, some of you who are regulars have participated in her wonderful Christic energy system work. But we're going to learn more about it tonight. And of course, she'll be introducing it to those of you who have not experienced this before. And that'll lead into our prayer time. So Maggie Rose, take it away.
Thank you. And my vision for an awakening world is coming into inner peace and inner standing and compassion. And so much of the chaos that we see in the world is coming also from within on a deep, deep level. And sometimes it's really controversial to say that because what do you mean when the world is in chaos? We are, Matt Kahn is someone that I really admire and love. And he always says, focus on your physical reality and what's in front of you right now and what you can do about it and how you can bring love to that. And that's always resonated so much to me of just being in that present moment. And I quoted Marley earlier in the chat, if you're separated from love, you're in the Maya. And I really love that quote. And just, I see so much division sometimes, especially on social media, with people just reacting to certain posts or reacting to certain things. And I know that we are so much more powerful when we can actually come together and when we can actually come into that state of peace and love. And that's why I love the Global Peace Tribe, because that's what it's all about. It's okay that we have differences, but how can we come together hand in hand and come into that heart resonance regardless of our differences, but remain in that harmony. And so the system I work with is called the Christic Energy System. And what it does is it pinpoints the soul's main karmas. And we all have multiple lifetimes on this planet. And it's working and understanding that sometimes when there's a trigger or an upset, it can be not just from this lifetime, and it can also be inner child related. A lot of the time in session work, I find myself going back to people's inner child and really doing the deep inner work of why is this specific relationship reflecting this to you right now? And most of the time, it's related to a mother and father wound. And sometimes it's so unconscious. Years ago, I was like, oh, I don't have any trauma, you know. I grew up with an amazing family. My mom and dad are still married. I have amazing siblings. We all get along. I don't have trauma. And then going into life and upsets in relationships, I realized how much trauma was actually there. And it's so funny, we aren't really taught how to pinpoint trauma and karma and samskaras and how different loopings can play out. And so, what I love about the Christic energy system is that it goes very deep into the different energy bodies. And so, I have these beautiful masters behind me today. And, Yogananda actually speaks a lot about the energy bodies and the subtle bodies, and so does Babaji. And this Christic energy system, it works with mastering your energy fields. And all of these beings behind me, they have mastered their energy fields. And that's why they're able to hold coherence and they're able to hold harmony. It's because they have mastered the inner circuitry. Babaji and Yogananda have very sacred kriyas that help to unlock the samskaras in the body as well. And so the Christic energy system goes great with lineages like that to work side by side, hand by hand. And basically, at the end of the day, it's just a tool to help you. And it's, on this earth, we're focused on raising our frequency so that we can exit the trauma body and exit what's no longer serving. And it's not to spiritually bypass and go into the rainbow bliss and unicorns all the time. It's okay to have shadows and it's okay to have upsets. But how long do we stay in that upset? And how much of our upsets are actually ancestral? How much of our upsets are actually societal or collective that we're picking up on? And it's so beautiful to be with a community like this because there's so many sensitive souls who can read energy. And so much in my session work, people take on other people's energies and they will be identified with this emotion or this story that's playing out when you are beyond that story. You are beyond that emotion. But how do we really embody that? And how do we really not get caught up in our emotional field or our mental body? Well, we cleanse it. We take showers every day, but do we take energetic showers? And do we notice during the day how our energetic field is? When you walk into a space, are you being charged or are you being depleted? When you have a conversation with someone, is that charging you or is that depleting you? And so it's becoming very, very aware of the subtle energy bodies, pinpointing things and pulling things out and bringing that light in because the less density you have, the more light you can embody.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Yes.
tell us a little bit about how did you learn these practices? How did you become the the person that you are that is able to hold this space and help us with this?
Yeah. Thank you. It was, a lot of trial and error. When I was uh 19, I dropped out of college. I was emotional. I couldn't do school. It was just way too much. And I pretended to go to school and I went to yoga for hours a day. And I started to find beautiful energy healers. I was in La Jolla and Encinitas and San Diego. And so there's incredible light workers down there, and I just wanted a session from everyone. And so I got so many sessions, and I just thought it was magic. I never understood how light you could feel. We are supposed to feel good most of the time. And in today's society, people don't feel that way. People feel these densities, and there's so many layers that can be peeled back so that you can feel and be in your soul's true expression. And so I picked my favorite healers that I had the most success with, and I asked them to train me. And so I did a little bit of schooling with Barbara Brennan in the Neo Shamanic Society, and then private mentors along the way of people that I felt amazing with. And Scott knows that one of my main mentors has been Shakina Man Sanandaji, and they are beautiful medical intuitives and have helped, a whole array of different ailments. And it was just so inspiring to see how you can help people in this way with this unseen world. And it's one of the greatest gifts that I've received, and that I feel I can give to someone, is to help them achieve inner peace and help them really come back to their true essence. Because the whole point of this modality is that you're already healed, you're already whole. But why don't you feel that way all the time? And it's because of the different trauma points in the energy bodies. And so once you can pull those trauma points in those different energy bodies, that's when you can truly be yourself and live in your heart space, because you don't have any traumas and densities pulling you out of the heart space. And so, one of my goals as well is to teach this to children, and so that children can understand the energy bodies from a young age and realize that they don't have to be their emotions. They can label their emotions as a color, and it works the same with adults too. We can see our emotion and ask where it's coming from. Okay, wow, my inner 5-year-old just took the driver's seat. Okay, let me talk to this inner 5-year-old. Oh, it's self-doubt. Okay, thank you, self-doubt. I'm gonna put you in the back seat, I'm not gonna let you take over. I'm not gonna let you play out this trauma in a relationship and have a reaction towards someone. And so once you start working with the subtle energy realms, your whole way of how you communicate change, your whole way of how you be in every moment changes. And it was the greatest gift to me, and so that's why I share it and do the work that I do today.
Beautiful, beautiful work. What you were just describing, I call it being abducted by our reptile brain, or abducted by the
Mhm.
inner 5-year-old who's throwing a temper tantrum.
Totally.
Absolutely. Quick question, is it easy for you to turn, it's getting darker and darker where you are.
I know. Yes.
Is there anything we can do about that?
I can turn the lights on one moment.
You do that. And while she does that, I'm going to read some of the wonderful comments that are coming in. Dr. Laura writes, Amen, Maggie. These are beautiful teachings. Karen S. writes, I've been very sensitive to the energies of people and objects all my life. Adrena Joy and Carol Craig have already signed up for Marley's 30-day program. And Susan Blomquist writes, this is well taught, Maggie. These are new concepts for many of us. Carol Craig writes, yes, ancestral influence is very intense and worth finding out about. Marley writes, great points, Maggie. Love that these emotional turmoils often source far beyond our own life experiences. And Marley continues to say, I see this all the time and love the opportunity to reparent myself when those soft emotions arise. And George Noble was inspired and turned his lights on as well. So we're glad that both you and George are better lit. And Dia Therese writes, Maggie, this is profoundly wild stuff! Exclamation points, plural, right on. So, and now you're back in the light. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And thank you
Ah,
for sharing all of those comments. And it's so true. So much of this work is reparenting the inner child. And then once you reparent the inner child, then you embody more of your soul in the monad. And then there's past lives. And then there's different aspects and different gifts that come online as well. And so it's fun to go down these realms.
absolutely. Well, would you be willing to give us an experience?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We don't have too much time, so I was thinking we could just do a collective group practice and just a collective centering
Okay.
because once a lot of the Christic energy system too is about helping one clear karma. And there's practices to where when you're in that non-dual state and truly in that presence, you're not in the karma of different things that could play out. And so one of the tools that my teachers teach, and it's very, very simple, and we can do it all together, is just 12 o'clock. And so it's closing your eyes and taking a deep breath into your belly, into your hara area. And let's just take an open mouth exhale. And let's just place our awareness on our heart. So drop your shoulders, relax your shoulders, relax your mind. Relax your jaw, relax your forehead, and just bring a gentle smile to your heart. And in the middle of your heart, you're going to see a clock. And you can see that clock at 12 o'clock. And when you see this clock at 12 o'clock, you can even visualize your vertical power column of light being strong, going down to the earth and up to the sky. And this is our vertical power column of alignment. And this is when we're in a state of presence. This is when spirit can give us ideas. We can hear guidance easier when we don't have our thoughts running. And so as a group, let's just anchor this stillness and see if you can feel it in the group field. Thoughts exiting. And let's just pop a sphere of light around us, coming completely into our own space. Breathing gently and deeply, listening to the noises. And from this state, the Global Peace Tribe does prayers, and I'd love to offer a group prayer for us all to be able to truly listen to the earth, to hear her messages in the wind, to listen to our higher self's guidance. May we have the courage to do what is ours to do this lifetime. May we have the courage to really open the heart wider than ever before, regardless of any hurt that has ever happened throughout all time and space. We allow our heart to be open. We offer a smile. We offer love to every person we come in contact with. And through these ripples, we be that peace, we be that change we wish to see. And we inspire it in our community. We inspire those around us. And feel that love within your heart. And let's just send that love out to our neighborhood that we're in, out to all the people that you came in contact with today. And just send that light out, send that love. And give a big thank you to this earth for all the shifts that she's undergoing, and yet she still holds us so lovingly, so gracefully. Thank you, Mother Earth. And sending it down and just receiving that love from the earth, allowing the heart to expand and giving thanks for this beautiful community and global peace tribe. And when you're ready, gently opening the eyes and feeling the stillness and feeling the heart-centeredness. And take a look around the Zoom room when you're ready and just send your love to every little box that's here, every soul. Thank you for being here.
So beautiful, Maggie. Thank you. Thank you.
So welcome.
We're going to go to Hannah for a song in a moment, but I do want to let people know how they can get more of Maggie. And her website is Maggie with two G's, MaggieRoseAlchemy.com. And it is truly a new paradigm of energy healing, as she's, beautifully given us a little homeopathic dose tonight. There's so much more available. I know that people who have worked with her have gained so much by working with this extraordinary being. So again, to learn more and to even schedule a time to work with Maggie, go to MaggieRoseAlchemy.com. And
And I wrote a bunch of blog posts, so please check out the blogs. They are free resource tools and just what I have seen doing hundreds of sessions. And there's so much that happens, in the individual, but is that collective that we can all learn and grow from.
beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for co-hosting with me tonight. I've enjoyed that. And let's do this again soon.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you, Scott.
And we're going to kind of, while people are still in a prayerful space, we're going to go right to our dear Hannah for another song.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much, Maggie. That was really beautiful. And I'm going to share a song that I wrote called Humble Like the Jungle. And yeah, I filmed a music video for this song and released it last year, and that's on YouTube. But it's a song that is a call to action for the seers, the mystic, the healers, and every single one of us to come together in unity consciousness and service to the earth and our awakening. So this is Humble Like the Jungle. Holy Ghost, I'll make you proud. Yeah, you know I heard you crying out loud. I was born in the belly of the beast, in the middle of the night, in the temple of defeat. I am here 'cause you called my name. I know the demon tried to snuff your flame. Cold desire, let the fire burn in me, for the elemental nature of my soul is flying free. Bless this hell and all the damage done. Mother knows that the war's been won. Now's the time for the healers on the run to steady up the beat and the rhythm of the drum. Meditate, let it all arise. Celebrate every tear in your eyes. You're brave for just being alive, with the monumental weight of forgetting you're divine. I am humble like the jungle. I am bleeding, can you feel me? I am humble like the jungle. I am healing, can you feel me? When you remember that you chose your life, there's no need for you to run and hide. I'm sick and tired of the shame and deceit and the fear of never knowing when the mission is complete. There's a presence trying to steal your mind. Air your shadows out into the light. Choose to love and you will heal in time, or let the fear of the unknown consume to swallow your life. I am humble like the jungle. I am bleeding, can you feel me? I am humble like the jungle. I am healing, can you feel me? I am a never-ending song of the morning star. The situation's rearranging all that you think you are. I'll ride the wind like fever across the great divide. I'll return when you call my name, for my love's not afraid to die. Ooh, I am humble like the jungle. I am healing, can you feel me? I am humble like the jungle. I am bleeding, can you feel me? Holy Ghost, I'll make you proud. Yeah, you know I heard you crying out loud. I was born in the belly of the beast, in the middle of the night, in the temple of defeat. I am here cause you called my name. I know the demon tried to snuff your flame. Cold desire, let the fire burn in me, for the elemental nature of my soul is flying free. Bless us hell and all the damage done. Mother knows that the war's been won. Now's the time for the healers on the run to steady up the beat and the rhythm of the drum. Meditate, let it all arise. Celebrate every tear in your eyes. You're brave for just being alive, with the monumental weight of forgetting you're divine. I am humble like the jungle. I am bleeding, can you feel me? I am humble like the jungle. I am healing, can you feel me? I am humble like the jungle. I am bleeding, can you feel me? I am humble like the jungle. I am healing, can you feel me? Ooh, ooh, oh, 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 oh. Hey, oh, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. Hey, oh, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. Hey, oh, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. Hey, oh, oh, oh.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Let's all give her some beautiful twinkle. And a big thanks to Desiree and also Eleanor, Joy, and Rachel for moving and dancing to that beautiful song. There's a lot of wonderful comments coming in. Tess Cacciatore writes, I hear harmonies. Wonderful song. Mm, uh, and people are pointing out that Maggie also sings like an angel. So this is true. We've had Maggie sing on the show before, and we'll have to have that happen again soon. Hannah, thank you so much. It's just, I love that song. I've heard it a few times now. And again, people can discover more about Hannah by going to her website, hannahbork.com. hannahbork.com. And she's a wonderful healer, Reiki master. So check out her classes, her events, and her psychic and healing services. Thank you, Hannah. So much love for you.
Thank you. So much love for you too. Honor and privilege to be with you all tonight. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Oh, wow. Well, as it turns out, by the way, I want to acknowledge she came into the Zoom room right after we had sung her praises, but a big part of this all happens because of Reverend Deborah Moldow, our beloved Rev Deb, who runs the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. And of course, the young people you're seeing tonight are all part of the new Synergy Circle under the umbrella and auspices of the EL. So thank you, Rev Deb, for what you have created and all the wonderful ways that you support all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott, for showcasing these just wonderful, inspiring young leaders. And they're just, they're a miracle to me because they take these concepts that you and I believe in and have studied, but they embody them in a different way because they didn't have all of the programming that we had when we were kids, right? They came in with the new consciousness. Absolutely. And doing such beautiful things in the world and making wonderful music and videos and it's just a joy to have this new Synergy Circle. And thank you so much, Scott, for all that you've done to bring them together and encourage them, and now to bring them on this program tonight.
One of the wonderful things that I just want to share with you is that we now have a new member of our Synergy group, Mickey. Japan.
I know Mickey. I know her mom. I know her grandma. And I met Mickey in Japan a year ago.
Of course, when you were over there, of course.
For the International Day of Peace activities there. And of course, as you know, Scott, I spent 20 years working with their organizations and planting peace poles and representing them at the United Nations. And I will always carry "May Peace Prevail on Earth" in my heart. And I love what Tess Cacciatore is doing with the videos. And it's just really beautiful.
Of course you know about all of that. Of course. Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you for being here tonight.
And then Marley's mother lived for years here where I live in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And
Wow. That's
yeah.
right. 'Cause and we acknowledge that you were who first introduced Marley to us. So
Oh,
thank you
she's
very
so
much.
special, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, she's amazing.
Unique, visionary young woman.
And as I had said, she has this combination of being so wise and so passionate. She really combines the two beautifully.
And she moves into it, right? So a lot of us hold these ideas and these visions, but she just goes for it and lives it and brings it to life.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm kind of proud of her.
As you should be. Well, I'm going to introduce us all to another new member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle Synergy Group of new awakening leaders. And this is Layla. And Layla is a dear friend who's actually living right here on the property of the Kind Hearts Ranch. And I'm learning so much from her. She brings so much beautiful spiritual practice into my life and into the Kind Hearts Ranch. So, Layla, welcome to the Awakening World. You've, of course, watched the show a few times, but it's your first time going on. And I'm going to ask you the same question we've been asking all of our guests. What's your vision for an awakening world? And what are some of the ways that you're contributing to manifesting that?
Thank you, Scott, for this beautiful opportunity to talk to all of you guys. I have the privilege of living with him and getting to experience this beautiful land and tend to it, listen to its intricacies, and hopefully make it available and accessible for people with kind hearts to come and share their hearts here. So a little bit about me. I started my path as an artist. And through creativity and imagination, I've been really able to open to different realms of thought and perception. This has led me to the Red Road, working with plant medicine, as well as studying with various spiritual teachers. Right now, I'm currently co-creating a space where I live here in Grass Valley called the Magnolia Collective, where it's a place where people can come and intimately connect amongst each other and learn some of these really deep spiritual practices that can be so complex and difficult to integrate in a really safe and loving and warm container. So that's currently what I'm working on, as well as my vision for an awakening world. So healing really comes from a place of embodied truth. And there's so much widespread fear right now with sharing what's actually happening on the inside. I think there is stigma and societal conditioning that belittles our truth or confuses us in our experience. So, part of the message that I bring around me and hopefully embody is that of truth. And through that ley line of clarity and getting to know what our truth is and each other's truth and finding the common truth amongst all of that, I really feel that that's a key pillar to building an awakening world. I view an awakening world as a space that's full spectrum, where there's all the emotions present, there's the beauty, the pain, the duality, and all of that coalesces and weaves into this harmonic tapestry that just has space for all of it, as we're all experiencing this experience through many different hues, eyes, with so much history in our bloodlines. And I think it's time for us to really step into that more. So hopefully everything I'm creating right now can add to that. I love working with people that also are in that web of truth and trying to sift through the nooks and crannies and the spaces that we're afraid of inside ourselves. So yeah, just sharing that with you all tonight. I know all of us have something going on that we might be afraid to share with someone or with ourselves, or that we're hiding, and if it came out, it would just be all the stories and ideas and thoughts and assumptions in our head, and just really inviting, tonight, like after this call, to just write a few words in your journal or just calmly sit, and take inventory of where am I not fully stepping into that truth, and letting that guide our next days, because usually the keys to that unfolding and that expansiveness that we're really seeking, whether that be healing, whether that be a new business endeavor, whether that be a new relationship, wherever we're at in our life, it lays beyond what we need to shed. And so that's the first step, usually. I have a snake in my room, and my snake always reminds me that we're always shedding. Literally, I can show you guys. I have his skin right here, and just so happy, and there's nothing wrong. It's so a part of his cosmic process to just curl up in a ball and shed his skin and just be revitalized and lush and soft. And so in this year of the wood snake, we're going through that. We're going through that shedding, that evolution of becoming, and, feeling the scaliness and the dry spots. So, just really inviting you all tonight just to, what are those scales? What are those dry spots? And, how can you move forward with that? And, just sitting with that and letting that inform your next steps.
Mhm.
And yeah, as I said, I have a beautiful metaphysical art center that's going to be opening in Grass Valley. I teach about dreams and dream work, and weaving the subconscious mind and ancient symbology with modern day. So I will be sharing more about that. And I also work one-on-one with people. I do a lot of deep somatic trauma healing and help people rewire their lives in a way that's truly nourishing. And I tend to work by referral. So the way to get in touch with me would probably be through Scott or through the Magnolia Collective, which, if you look on Instagram or Facebook, it's the Magnolia Collective. On Instagram, it's Open Magnolia. And yeah, I don't want to take up too much space. There's so much to be shared by so many beautiful people. And I'm just so grateful, Scott. Thank you for making the space and just being such a good roommate and such a good friend.
Oh, it's wonderful to introduce you to our Awakening World audience. And Jasmine Bear is like trying to find you. She heard your voice. Jasmine Bear is very much in love with Layla. And just to clarify, yes, the Magnolia Collective is Layla's organization. And certainly as time goes by, we're going to be promoting and supporting that. And then the name of the ranch where we live with our good friend Lucky is the Kind Hearts Ranch. So that's the name of our place. So we will be doing events here, live events, which I'm really excited about co-creating with Layla and Lucky as well. So thank you, Layla, for being part of my life now, part of the Global Peace Tribe, and of course, part of our synergy group, the new generation of leaders for an awakening world.
Welcome, Scott.
Oh, all right. Well, our new gen synergy group is truly global. And we're going to hear now from a couple people that would be with us, except that they're sleeping right now because they live in Europe. And so we're going to meet Simon Esther, who is one of the founding members, along with Rev Deb and Maggie and Marley. Simon was one of the original founding members as well. And so here's a chance to meet him. I am here with Simon Esther, coming to us from Europe. He is one of the original founding members of the New Gen Synergy Circle for young leaders of Awakening World. And Simon, what's your vision for the future for our Awakening World?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Thank you for the introduction and amazing to being here. And I'm feeling really honored. And my vision for an awakening world, I mean, yeah, that really starts with the now, I believe. And in the now, I really see that we are at this major threshold or this major turning point at the moment. I think that everyone is feeling, or that almost is impossible to not feel, where we are, yeah, really transitioning from an old world. Some people call it the age of Pisces. Maybe in developmental psychology, we call it the first tier. Some of the viewers are familiar with that, where it was more about separation, about competition, about survival, tribalism in like a non-healthy form. And where we are transitioning right now, we're having this huge transitional moment as humanity, as this planet, where actually the entire quadrant of this universe at the moment, where we're transitioning into this new phase. And I think we're all feeling this transition at the moment, and we all have different yeah, ways of going through that. And I believe that because we're all at the moment together on this planet, that we also all set the intention of experiencing that this shift. And yeah, even though at the moment can feel very weird seeing the old system crumble down. I mean, every time that we open our news apps, or turn on the television, or yeah, look outside, oftentimes we see the old crumbling down, but also the new rising up, and then it feels like one foot in the old, one foot in the new world, and that we're at this inflection point, which is, I think, for all of us quite the intense process. And I don't know one person for who's it an easy ride or just a walk in the park. So yeah, but I have a very, very bright outlook for the future. Like I think it's inevitable that we are going into a very bright and conscious future, into a future where it's yeah, less about dualities, about separation, about these qualities that I just mentioned, but more about integrating dualities, like integrating the masculine, the feminine, not having them fight anymore, or one dominating the other, but purifying those dualities and then integrating them into a unified way of being. That's what I'm feeling. And yeah, it's such a alchemical process also that feels this what is happening at the moment. But for me, from so many perspectives, from the shamanic perspective, from the developmental perspective, from the astrological perspective, from yeah, from so many different ways of looking at it, we are heading into a wonderful new world, because it cannot be any other way, because the frequency, so the light, is just supporting that, and not those primitive energies that we had before, not primal, but primitive. So yeah, I have a very, very bright outlook on the future, and I'm 100% sure that we are going there, even though this process in which we are right now is quite the dirty one, quite the messy one. Yeah, it's I think without having such a clear groundedness in that it only can become good because we chose those timelines and we chose to go there collectively. I think it can be very hard in this transitional time. And I see that in many people that get quite caught up in, yeah, all the dirty things about the pain and suffering, about the bloodiness of this process that we are in right now. But yeah, as I said, I think it only can go into the right direction, because that is where the universe is heading, at least in this yeah, corner of the universe that we are in right now. And I think it will have implications and impact on every single field that we are experiencing in our lives in the world, not only in the collective, because oftentimes we just hear about the collective and the collective changes, but also, of course, in the individual. And also that this process is deeply collective, and on the one hand, but also deeply individual, because of course we as individuals are constituting or making the collective, and the other way around. And yeah, that is how I see this time at the moment, and also where we are heading. That's these qualities about integrating dualities, this collective intelligence, where it's not only a top-down anymore, but a leadership. that is about networking, about decentralizing and not centralizing, about balancing many aspects of our lives. Also, when we look at technology, for example, the shifts that we are going through at the moment, or these revolutions where you first went to an agricultural evolution that really freed up like much workforce or much time for us, that not 95% had to work on the fields anymore of the people. Then the industrial revolution, then the informational revolution, where most people went into informational jobs. Of course, now with AI, we also have this transition where I think in a couple of years, 90% of people will have no economic value anymore in the current system, which will create huge challenges for us, but also huge opportunities, because maybe then if we can accept it, we will look into questions like, okay, what now? Who am I beyond my economic value and my purpose as in someone that achieves things or that produces things and that identifies with titles. And I think that gives wonderful opportunities on the one hand for growth, but also I think it is then up to those that are conscious of this process to also guide those that are not conscious of this process, because I think it can be very hard and very dark for many people when the sense of purpose is lost in this way. And I think that's just one of the many ways of the time that we're heading in. I think many people also will go and will not be able to transition in this process. I'm noticing that in my private life right now. And also then I think for all of us, it is about reinventing ourselves. Who are we then in these new qualities? And if we will not reinvent ourselves or go with this time, I think we will have a very hard time, because now, of course, in the world that's we lived in until now, qualities like really achievement on an egocentrical and exploitive means and manipulative means really worked well, very well. But these things will not work anymore in the future because just the entire, let's say, frequency or field will not support this anymore. And also things that we have not looked at in ourselves when we manipulate ourselves unconsciously or have shadows in ourselves that we're not aware of and that are sabotaging us. I think they will all be brought ruthlessly to the surface and that need to be looked at. And I don't think that everyone wants to do that. So I think many people are leaving that decided to not go through this process. But as people that are staying in the process, I think it's a rough one, but a beautiful one, especially in those moments where it gets really tough. And growth oftentimes very much happens, and not only individually, but also in relationships. I think relationships are a great catalyst for this change. And then it's all up to us where we see our place in this world, in this lighter, in this more loving world. And for me personally, I have about 10 years of experience as an entrepreneur in various fields of trade, of fashion, of marketing, just building companies and structures, which is just a big passion of myself, just building things, building organizations, and bringing all the pieces together. And I feel for me like a transition also in this. I stopped most of my ventures, like 90% of my ventures. I just canceled or stopped, and to really go into a personal process and see where do I want to go. And also there are things within myself that I'm feeling since I'm a little kid, that I'm remembering since I'm a few years old, where I really was very excited about temples, about buildings, about creating structures and systems for people to grow in. And I always had these visions and dreams already as kids of beautiful structures that are created for transformation of the person, basically modern day temples. And that's really where I feel purpose in creating these temples of transformation, about purification, places where we can go and really go through the processes and that create the most beautiful, most wonderful place for going through our personal transformational process to go through this transition to really go and develop every facet of the human being and explore what it means to be human and also what it means to be beyond being human. And that is where I, for example, as my role as an entrepreneur in this world and also designer and web designer, past month I learned how to build big social networks and educational platforms, and combine that with AI chatbots and big systems of knowledge and how that all can be combined. And then also, I'm aspiring to take it from the 2D of screens, of screen designs, of online platforms to the third dimension of buildings, because I love buildings architecture and really creating modern day temples of transformation. This is really where I feel where my role is, and yeah, it's a very transformational process, letting go of all the old systems, all the old things that I've built, and then creating space for the new. And also in this in this transitional process, we have this group of the young evolutionary leaders, the next new gen leaders, which is a part of the evolutionary leaders synergy circles. And just as leaders, having peer support there and supporting each other is a wonderful thing in creating these new structures and projects. And for that, I created, together with Dominic, who also presents today, a website, a beautiful website, where you can all learn more about it. And I just wanted to quickly share the design with you because I think it turned out really beautifully. So this is the website. For me, every website is like a little temple, like a little experience that I want to create for people. Of course, this is only a little presentation, no big network. But scrolling down, there's this dawn of the new age, the sunrise with our logo here in the sun, and then you can learn more about the group, like a peer group for young leaders, and browse our network of young leaders and of elders where we come together. You can just take a look at what we're doing, who is in the network. We have wonderful, wonderful people. Of course, also Scott as a founding member, a very, very valuable member of ours. And us bridging generations, this beautiful imagery was created by Dominic. What we actually do is also very important, because oftentimes in these projects it's very, very light, very airy-fairy, fairy dust. But like the concrete things you can learn also here, because that is what we also do, creating projects together, things like that. And then if you're interested in learning more about us and what we're doing, we have open calls regularly. So you can just click here on about the open call. And then on this page, you can learn more about our open calls. And if you know young leaders, please just forward them this website. It's newgenleaders.net, because we always love seeing new faces. And then they can just sign up and we will get in contact with them. So this is like a little project that I created. I'm creating projects also for clients oftentimes. So if you have a project that you're working on, need a beautiful presentation that not only is beautiful, but also really transmit your values and the feeling of your brand, then you can just look me up on the website, find a way to contact me. That is a little presentation of that, and also my view on this transitional time and the future that we are all heading in together.
Beautiful. Simon, thank you so much. There's so many things you shared that interested me. One is that the connection between, even as a little boy, you wanted to build, you wanted to create. This is interesting how on a soul level, there is that part of us that as a child, there's certain impulses that we have that then as adults, we realize, oh, wow, I always had this yearning, this longing, this mission in life, if you will.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think as children, we are even more in touch with that oftentimes, because it's the purity that we still have. And it's oftentimes it feels like it's set out and it's like a block of stone, and we just have to chisel the block, but the sculpture that is in the block of stone is already there, and it's just finding that and feeling into that. And I think as children, we already know that very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being such an important core founding member of the New Gen Synergy Circle, and sharing the Mystic Vision, which I share that vision with you. But it's wonderful to hear it from you coming from halfway around the world. So thank you for being with us.
Very much appreciated. Great. Thank you so much, Scott.
It's so beautiful listening to these amazing young people that I'm grateful to be in collaboration with. And yes, I know that I'm very pink and I look funny. My overhead light blew just before the start of the show, so I only have my little lamp here. I will fix it and make it better in time for the next show. Well, many of you who are regulars know Tatiana Speed. She is absolutely one of our most beloved members of the Global Peace Tribe. And you know, she had been in a period for many, many years. She went through a health crisis and just was coming out of it at the same time that we started doing these Global Peace Tribe shows. And it's been beautiful watching her just bloom. And she's also a founding core member of our group. And she would be with us tonight, except she's playing live at a festival right now. Her mother is watching. Lori Ann, thank you for giving birth and raising this beautiful daughter that we all love so much. And here's a video that we recorded yesterday with Tatiana Speed. We're here with our beloved Tatiana, who can't join us live because she's performing at a Bhakti Fest that's happening up in Canada. So she is going to bless us with her vision for an awakening world right now on this pre-record. Welcome, Tatiana.
Thank you, Scott. And hi, everyone. I wish I was with you. I'm so happy to be able to transmit to you from here, and I love you all so much.
What's your vision for an awakening world? And what are your current, I mean, you're always doing something, but what are you currently doing to kind of help bring that into manifestation?
I love this question so much. I feel like there's honestly so many places I could go with it. But as I was tuning into that question today, what really came through is that I really want to see the return of the feminine sacred. She has been exiled for the past 5,000 years, give or take. And with her has been such a deep wounding to our planet, to our relationship to ourselves, to each other, to this earth. And so, yeah, one of my visions is, and it's already happening. I mean, it is happening, is that she's returning, and she's returning through the voices of so many women who are speaking and sharing their teachings and their gifts right now. I mean, I see her returning, and I just want to see it happening more and more and more. And something that I think is important to know is that it has not always been this way. There were actually thousands and thousands of years where we revered the feminine, where we revered the goddess. And when we had that myth, when our myths reflected that reverence, women in those societies held positions of spiritual and political leadership and authority, and how that also impacted how we related to the earth, our stewardship of the earth. And then around 5,000 years ago, we began to see that seeding of the patriarchal consciousness that really shifted power. It really brought in this dominance, paradigm of dominance over each other, over nature, hierarchy, control, conquest. So I really feel this return to the feminine is an empowerment of women connected to their feminine, emerging into positions of leadership and authority. And as we do that, we actually empower our men. I have so much love for men. I am not at all a feminist that is here to bash the masculine. I feel such love for men, and I really see how women actually emerging into their power helps men also find their own power. And just, I'm really here for that co-creative beauty of the divine union between the masculine and feminine. And I'm just on a real tangent right now because now I'm just feeling called into the Jesus and Mary story, who I feel like really embody that for us, this divine union, and the power of the masculine and feminine both coming into their embodied authority, their wisdom, their love, and leading from there. And as more and more of us step into that, the beacons, the lighthouses that we create around the world, I feel are here to shift the consciousness here into this awakening world.
That's so beautiful. I'd love for you to share what kind of you're experiencing or perceiving about how Yeshua, Jesus, and Mary Magdalene and their union, and how we're now more and more becoming aware there wasn't just Jesus, but that it really was the two of them together. What's your perception about that?
I've been on such a journey with that right now. It's so alive in me. I mean, as you know, Scott, my mom's come on this show, and I've been on a real journey with her. She's been a channel for Mary Magdalene, and my journey with Mary actually started when I was 18, first in university, going into her true story. I was in a religious studies 101 class, and they said, research a contentious religious figure, and I saw her name on the sheet of paper as like an option, and every
Wow.
my body was like like
Wow.
electric current going through my body. And then I very innocently started researching her, and I was in the university stacks, like surrounded by all these manuscripts, like reading and discovering that her story is so dramatically different than what we've been told. She's not a sinner, she's not a fallen woman, she's not a prostitute. And even in the canonical gospels, the gospels that have been approved by the Roman Catholic Church, there's nothing of that in there. So that was my first kind of wave of awakening, was just in the canonical gospels, the ones that have been approved. Her story even shines through from there, that even in those gospels, she's a force. She's a force. She's the first one to see Jesus resurrected. She anoints his body before he goes to the cross. There's key moments where she's present, that make it so I wonder how we could ever have ignored her, how we could ever have passed over her. Because
One word, patriarchy.
yes, yeah, absolutely, yes. So that was sort of phase one, and then of course I moved to France, and my mom came to visit me in France, and my mom was just tootling around Paris, and she meets these French women who take her to their country cottage, which happens to be in Vézelay, which happens to be where where some of her relics are, in this beautiful basilica. And my mom has been on the show, and she's talked about this. She has this huge download of Mary Magdalene, and completely took her by surprise. And then I really became kind of I got to receive so much of my mother's wisdom during that time. I was really privy. I really feel like I sat at her feet and got to receive just the beauty of these downloads that were coming through for her, that lasted years, and I got to ask so many questions. And so we really had this beautiful experience together during this time, so Mary was very present then. And during that time, it was really, she was telling her true story to my mom. And then she was also giving all this information about the feminine body, the sacredness of the feminine, honoring herself, what that looks like, what that feels like. There was just a lot of beautiful teachings that came through. And then now in the last few years, really only in the last year, honestly, I feel it landing in my own body as my own authority, or like my own journey with her.
Right.
And that's been quite remarkable because before it was part of a school. I just, and then it was really a journey I took with my mom, which was incredible. And now in the last little while, it's really been a direct line in with her, and very much also connected with my partner, Mark. We've been opening up the teachings of Jesus and Mary, and I don't honestly have words for what's happening yet. It's still very new, but it's just guiding me so deep into the heart of love that I'm experiencing love in a way I haven't ever experienced love. And
Mm.
yeah, it's like love as not as something soft or sentimental, love as like a power, love
Yes.
as a
Yes.
flame, love as something that burns, love that is alive, love that is radical, revolutionary, love that changes, that shakes the structures of power. Like as I feel like I'm reading the Bible again too, and I'm like, it's landing differently somehow. Like, whoa, Jesus was a radical, revolutionary warrior of love. And what he brought was so powerful, like there's not even words. And um, that kind of love, if there's anything that I feel is here to awaken this world, it's that radical, revolutionary love.
Coming on for a quick second because I've just got to riff on that. Have you read the Gospel of Thomas yet?
No.
So, you know, they found many of the books that the Catholic Church had not put into the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is the Gospel according to Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a story, it's just direct quotes from Jesus.
Mm.
When you talk about he was a radical revolutionary, read the Gospel of Thomas, because this is the closest. It's not somebody else writing about who he was. It's like direct quotes. And that's exactly the picture it paints. So definitely find the Gospel of Thomas.
I love that you're saying that. I've actually been working my way through each one of the Gnostic Gospels right now. I started with the Gospel of Philip and then the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and now I'm on the Pistis Sophia. So I will read the Gospel of Thomas next, and it's wild to read the Gnostic texts. There is like a charge with them that is I can't even listen to the Pistis Sophia. I don't understand a word. It's so cryptic. Like if anyone wants to dive into that book, but the effect of it on my body, it's like unbelievable, the transmission. I can only read it for 10 minutes at a time, and my whole body starts to like pulsate and vibrate. And it's so cryptic, I have no idea what's happening. So anyone who wants to
Well, and you know, Andrew Harvey, who translated some of the Gnostic Gospels, is going to be our special guest
Wow.
week on September 13th. We're doing
Oh
a
my,
tribute to Andrew Harvey. So if you're available, come on into the Zoom room on September 13th.
oh my gosh, I would love to.
And you know what? Because we're going to play a video and a song of yours. So is there any introduction you'd like to make to those? I'm going to come in and do the introduction myself. Isn't it wonderful getting to know each of these young people, though? And I'm really appreciating the chat. I was able to catch up a little bit of the chat box. And yes, next Saturday night, Andrew Harvey is going to be with us. And I really want to have a big crowd for that. So please, everyone, invite your friends. Let's have watch parties. Let's really enjoy a tribute to the great Andrew Harvey, who's now a personal friend with our wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson. And it's going to be a really beautiful, beautiful show. So definitely join us next Saturday night and spread the word, and let's really make it a special show. So here is the video that Tatiana provided. We have played it on the show before, but it's so beautiful. And It's called Home. And she does a lot of work with Habitat for Humanity. And this song was inspired by that work. Habitat for Humanity was famous because Jimmy Carter, you might have seen pictures of him at 90 years old, pounding nails and building homes. So anyway, here's our beloved Tatiana with
For too long, too many people have been left homeless. For too long, we haven't seen enough progress. For too long, exiled, displaced, and alienated, people walk this earth devastated. For too long, we've lived in separation, forgotten our true nation, this earth the home to all future generations. Cut off from life, cut off from each other, we've forgotten nature, our only mother. This disconnect is our deepest wound. Towards wholeness, we must reattune. Whole life, whole person, whole systems, all cultures, one planet. If you feel this truth, let's stand for it. Let's reclaim home as the destination. Choose inclusion over separation. And build a refuge, a sanctuary, a place of healing that nurtures and supports all beings. Let's build a home right where we are. Let's build a home for all of us. Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life. It starts within. It starts with me, it starts with you. Can we turn to ourselves and see ourselves anew? What do we love? What do we cherish? For what do we stand on this beautiful planet, this sacred land? It starts with community, creation, culture. Can we build together, my sister, my brother? It starts right here, right now. Put the seeds in the ground until life springs up all around. We can walk through our garden, this home that we make. Together we change humanity's fate. And from the local to the global, from the I to the we, from the north to the south, from the west to the east, all cultures, all borders, all peoples, all life, we can come together and ignite a home for all to which all belong. This is the prayer, this is the song. Let's build a home right where we are. Let's build a home for all of us. Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life. One world, one home, one heart, one life. All people, all cultures now. One world, one home, one heart, one life. All people, all cultures now. Let's go home. We are going home.
Let's build a home right we are.
Let's go
Let's build a home for all of us.
Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life.
Itakiapi. This is a home on Mother Earth for all living beings.
From the power with to the power to, we can change and create something new. Hold the vision, hold the mission, hold the line. We are birthing a new paradigm. Homecoming, we're all becoming who we need to be to hold off this catastrophe. Down on our knees with prayers for peace for this indivisible family. Around the world, feel the hearts opening. Around the world, feel the hands extending. Around the world, feel this movement coming. All cultures, all peoples, one planet, one home.
I just put the link to the video into the chat box. And that's where you can watch it. It's so inspirational, isn't it? Very, very, very beautiful. Ah, it is. You're right, Scotty Satori. It's another wonderful Awakening World anthem. And of course, you saw many of our friends in the video, Gary Malkin, Ben Bowler, Rama and Alexander. They're all global peace tribers that have been on the show and that are friends of ours. So beautiful colleagues. Well, if people's energy is good, I have one more video to play. I wasn't sure whether to play it or not, but people seem to be hanging in there. We still have 47 people in the Zoom room. So I'm going to introduce you to Dominic, who is very involved in the Interstellar University. Again, he's been on the show before, but he's a beautiful man coming to us from Germany. So here is Dominic. And after Dominic, we'll close with an Omashar song. Well, we are here with another core founding member from the New Jin Synergy Circle, and it's Dominic Delgado coming to us from Bonn, Germany. And he's been with us from the very beginning. He's a delightful man, doing great work with the Interstellar University and many other visions and experiences helping to create our awakening world. And Dominic, I'd love to ask you to share with our audience, what is your vision for the future and for an awakening world?
Hey Scott, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the question. It's always wonderful to talk to you. And yes, we were starting the New Gen Leaders group together, and for me, I'm very much focused on exploring what the future of humanity looks like, and especially an enlightened future for humanity. And so everything starts with awareness for humans, having more awareness about their internal states, about, them actually being light beings. We all are light beings at our core. And also about awareness that we're not alone in the universe. So that is definitely something that is a paradigm shift for many people to experience this firsthand, and also to broaden their worldview around this. So this has a lot to do, in my view, when it comes to an awakening world. Disclosure is a big part of it, but actually the disclosure within our hearts, but because we are them, we are the same, we are brothers and sisters, and many starseeds around the earth are feeling this and are living this. And, we're actually actively building the new earth, and especially with Interstellar University, this is a wonderful project where many people are contributing, and which has been founded by Jean and John Person together with astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who was the sixth man on the moon. So this goes a long way, and it's really a beautiful network of people that are actively developing the new Earth, not just creating awareness, but also educating people through specific programs that ground this knowledge in a way. But then also the next step after this is really to change society, change structural systems. So this is something, I'm very much a hands-on guy. I really like to approach things also on a systematic level, because also we need to change systems to bring, and help birth new systems that are created on love and also on abundance. So yeah, a lot to say about everything, but that's, that's how I want to start this.
Absolutely. I interviewed Edgar Mitchell way back when I was working on the UFO shows back in the 90s. So it's beautiful how it all kind of keeps coming full circle. And you truly are representing the new generation as you carry it forward. And I love what you just said about disclosure starts within our hearts. It's beautiful. Tell us more about the Interstellar University, what it's doing, and what the vision for it includes.
Yes, sure. So the vision actually includes, on the larger scale, the bigger vision is for humanity to have a what we call a universe city. So actually a city that is built on love and abundance with systems that are, completely of the new Earth. And this is something that many starseeds are working in collaboration. This is also what we from Interstellar University are actively creating partnerships. And there are different places on the Earth that have the potential and are actively in development, where land is actively in development to become such a place where people can live in an enlightened state and actually, don't need to worry about survival that much, but actually the focus really becomes on spiritual development, on an internal development, on really becoming a loving human being, and really actually fulfilling the potential with which we come here. So, yeah, there is a great potential to create these cities on our planet. And Interstellar University will be central to such a vision. So we want to host our university in such a framework. And so the first step for us, with this university is actually to start online, but then step by step materialize it with our partners, with whom we are already working together to accomplish something like this. So yeah, right now we are actually developing an online university which is then becoming physical at a later date. And it is really about, learning why are we here, who are we, and especially for the starseeds, also to learn, what is my mission here in all of this? Why, remembering why have I come here? What is my purpose in all of this and all the greater transformation from the old to the new earth? How can I contribute? How can I bring my gifts into all of this? And it's sort of like a starter kit for life for starseeds, basically. So, giving them all the tools, having great contactees as teachers who have walked the path for decades and, know all the pitfalls, know also how to protect, but know as well how to really, embrace your gifts and really make the most out of them. So that's what we want to support. This is what we are creating right now. And yeah, I'm extremely grateful that I can be part of this great mission.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's exciting. And I certainly hope I live long enough to participate and come, at the very least, come visit the city of the future that you're describing. That's very, very beautiful. It's like, yes, a big yes.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your own personal transformation. What, as you walk this path, what are some of the challenges and some of the awakenings, if you will, because the awakening world happens within each of us individually as well as for the planet. Tell us about your personal awakening.
Yeah, so my personal awakening actually, I don't know if it has a start, but when I was consciously aware of it, it was in my childhood where I started to have very vivid dreams. And also, in the moment, I thought it would be, a heightened sense of creativity. I always had a lot of creativity in my childhood, but then, I started seeing physical beings in my, or they appeared to me as physical with my physical eyes, in my child's bedroom. And, my mom is really open to this as well. So I started to nitpick her, some books from her, introductory literature into spirituality. And from that, I later on, started developing this. Also through my youth, I sort of lost it in a way, and now it's coming back, not just through my studies in Bonn in spiritual philosophy, which I completed here at an alternative university, but then I'm in a spiritual initiation, if you want to call it that, with my own spiritual teacher, who is a Native American shaman who's teaching in Amsterdam, and I'm there for 4 years now. And he really, shows me and all of my colleagues there, how to really activate your senses again. So extrasensory perception, but also teaches us a lot about the star nations and our friends and brothers and sisters out there from other stars. Because, the shamans are holding this knowledge. It's really the ancient indigenous people who have this knowledge for millennia. And it's really grounded actually, because it's just part of their tradition. And this is also the angle that makes Interstellar University unique, because most of maybe the educational platforms, or other people talking about star nations or extraterrestrials are mainly talking about it from the UFO perspective, from military intelligence perspective, and also from, do you see something in the sky? But we really approach this from a way more spiritual perspective, and from an indigenous perspective, which is very grounded and really rooted, and which is not really discovering are they real or not, because you can experience this firsthand by developing your conscious abilities. And then you're able to engage in direct communication. And this is what this is basically like the toolkit for Star Nations, is really to have this active communication, and how to manage this, because this is not always easy. And this is why it's so beautiful to have these contactees as beautiful teachers in our organization. And yeah, at the same time, it's just an incredible journey to develop something like this, especially in these times right now, where this is not yet openly acknowledged in such a broad spectrum. So we already, I already want to say that we're actively bringing in the ancient knowledge. This is basically nothing new. We are just giving it a new form. And for many people, it is, knowledge that has been buried for many, many years that is now coming up. And it's becoming very important in this new time for the new Earth, basically. So yeah, this is where I'm very excited to help in this entire process.
In your own personal experience working with your shaman teacher, or connecting to our extraterrestrial galactic family, have you had what you would experience as contact?
Yes, so it started actually in my childhood, yeah, bedroom, so to speak. And it was a woman, was a little shorter than normally you would see a human, but and different characteristics facially. So I just learned a decade later that she wasn't a human at all, like from Earth. So that's where some things clicked, because sometimes the lines are so blurred between, having connection with ancestors, or having connection with totems here on the Earth, or having a connection with different star nations or celestial beings. So it can be blurry. So this is, also why a good education is very important, to decipher and just have good distinction. And then later on with my teacher, it started to happen more in the dreamtime reality, as it's called, or more the astral realm, where there I had certain contact with certain beings during that states, basically, and we're not using any external substances. It's all done just through pure consciousness, or through working with a crystal, or through drumming. So yeah.
Wow, wow. And how amazing to have started this experience as a child, and then to have found or been attracted to, the guides that can help you to really ground it in reality as an adult now.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful also for not just my teachers, but also for my friends now. This is, yeah, it's really like a journey. For some, you're seeing like soul friendships that have been there for even before this lifetime. It's just a blast, to be in this time right now and help, with the manifestation of something so beautiful in this new earth. I'm beyond excited, and actually, yeah, this really lifts me up, because sometimes it can be really harsh as a starseed living here on Earth with all these old systems. And this is why it's so important to have community. And so this is actually like what we offer is like Starseed community, right? Because
Right.
it's for some they grow up like very isolated. You cannot talk about this. Yeah, as a child, I had like some awakening moments as well, where I was like so deep into quantum mechanics. I wanted to argue with my chemistry and physics teacher, and my mom was just, you cannot do it. And I didn't understand why I couldn't like argue with them. Of course, they must understand, but no. So I needed to learn that, you better shut up and do this research on your own. And so now it's really liberating to actually have like a peer group, and yeah, that you're not alone with this, and yeah, there are many, many, many. So this is also the new Earth. It's about decentralized networks, not just of organizations, but also people between people, and yeah, really empowering everyone. So yeah, that's what it's about.
Well, you're a core member of our new Gen Synergy group and a most beloved member, and it's wonderful to have you with us. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us all the way from Germany. And I know that my audience is really going to enjoy hearing what you have to say. And thank you again. And we will continue to grow together.
Of course, Scott. Thank you. Anytime.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Take care, Scott. Bye bye.
He's such a sweetheart. He's just beautiful. Everybody, all these wonderful, wonderful young people who are creating an awakening world. I'm going to bring my good buddy Omashar up because before we go into closing song, we've got some important announcements to make. And I want to remind everyone that the place to be in a few weeks is either Grace Cathedral in San Francisco on Saturday night, September 27th, where Gary Malkin and friends are going to be doing a very, very special event, which we've promoted quite a bit on this show. So that's one amazing place to be. But there's also the opportunity to be down in San Diego. And we're really excited about this event, which again, we have promoted. A chance to see Omashar in person, as well as a lot of other people that you've seen on The Awakening World, including Daryl Anka and Alan Steinfeld and Tangela. And they're all going to be part of this wonderful retreat, the San Diego Transcendence Retreat, September 27 and 28. There is a big discount, which Omashar will probably put the discount code into the chat box because I think he's
I'm just doing that, and it's Soul Search 25 with both the S's uppercase.
There it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, so definitely we'll be there for that. But there's more. Omashar and Mark have put together a special event, which is going to be really amazing. Imagine being able to be at a live Omashar concert. Well, it's going to happen, kids.
I might be there as well. I'm still imagining it.
I certainly hope you're going to be there. I hope you're going to be able to make it. It's going to be a beautiful concert on Monday night, the 29th, at Mark's place, the
Vision Center for Spiritual Living.
That's the one. And so come on down to San Diego. I'm planning on being there. Don't tell Gary Malkin because he thinks he's wanting me to be in San Francisco with him. If anybody of you know how to bilocate, I am available to learn how to bilocate.
You know what? I think Dominic might be able to. I was just as you pulled me on screen, I was just actually typing up. He is a sweetheart, and what I'm getting from the vibe from Dominic is I was going to say the masculine version, but not even that. It's the same vibe that I get from Tatiana. It's just that absolute, intelligent, totally connected transmission from the center of their hearts with no agenda, no me. It's just we're in this together and we're rising, and this is what I have individually to share. So it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with Dominic, with us.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. And I want to acknowledge in the chat box, Dr. Laura, Dorina Choi, Ayada, thank you for your beautiful comments. And yes, let's really pack the house next week for Andrew Harvey. I'd really like to really make sure that that's a big successful event. And now is a good time for any of you who have not registered for the season. The new season begins October 1st and goes all the way through the end of the year. Now, of course, all of you in the Zoom room are already registered for what is the summer season, coming to a close in a couple of weeks. And for any of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, come join the Global Peace Tribe. It's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, click register for the new season. That takes you to our registration page. And new friends, students, and seniors get all of the Zoom room links for as little as $22. And of course, if you come in at a higher level, we appreciate that because we want to keep this show going. And I have said this might be the final season. I don't want it to be, but we really need to grow. We really do. We need more people to be coming in. So let's all work together and grow the tribe. And the best part of the tribe, I always believe, are Omoshar songs.
This is true, but before we carry on, I was just going through the chat and just the absolute impeccable top shelf ability of this conscious potpourri of beings that you have gathered together and presented through these shows is something that everybody who's on the tip of awakening within themselves needs to hear, because it really is this cosmic carrot in front of us all, like the carrot in front of the donkey that draws it along. I'm not calling myself a donkey, even though I have been a bit yeehawish at times in my life, or eeyore-ish. But it is so necessary to hear this, because if you don't, there's no other feed out there that's putting it together in the way that you have, Scott. And as Dr. Laura was mentioning there, how can we somehow get it further than that which is just on the Facebook and the YouTube, etc. And I know you have something brewing somewhere to help that. However, I'm just reaching into the consciousness now, so I'll shut up.
Thank you. Well, I would love for our galactic family to, maybe show up in my backyard. And if I could get some good video, that probably would draw a nice number of new eyeballs. However it unfolds, because it's true. I am so proud of our shows. And we really do have extraordinary people. Along those lines, I'm not going to show it tonight, but I just did an interview with Patrick McCullum, and they've made an entire movie about Patrick. And it's coming out in October, The Man Who Saves the World. For those of you in the Bay Area, there's going to be a special screening of this movie on Thursday night, September 25th. I've already bought my ticket. So meet me in San Rafael, and Patrick will be there. And, as I was doing the interview with Patrick today, which I'm going to play on a future show, it's amazing the life this man has led, and Chief Brother Phil and the amazing work he's doing. And I look at, whether it's the young people that we've seen tonight or some of us older ones that have been around for a long time. This really is an amazing time on the planet. And may the awakening world continue so that we can listen to Omoshar songs at least twice a week. They are the hymns of the awakening world.
What more can I be than what I am? Though it's taken some time to clear these clouds from my eyes. So open your heart and dance along. lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. So don't try to hold me to what I was. I've traveled through time to see this day arise. The love that I am is here for you. So open the door and let the sun shine in. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. So open your heart and dance along. I'm thinking it's time to stop that same old song. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. What more can I be than what I am?
I love that song, and I love seeing everybody getting up, moving and grooving and dancing, even though we're yawning a little bit. It's getting late.
I know, I was yawning a bit too. What happens is that is my voice kind of closes up at this time of night if I'm not drinking a Guinness, and so a secret and my joke. But anyway, always such a pleasure to share, Scott. Thank you for the opportunity and the privilege.
Wow, it's a beautiful show, beautiful shirt. Look at that shirt. That is really something.
It is.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm ready for some dinner. Much love.
You too.
Next week, Wednesday nights, we have Dr. Tara and Carolyn Brillard talking about spiritual bypassing and some of the challenges of the spiritual world. It's going to be a very dynamic conversation, which I'd like Omashar to participate in, and all of you. It's going to be a very conversational show. That's what.
Yes, Dr. Tara is so unique. I just love her perspective.
Yeah, no, she's brilliant, and so is Carolyn. And then, of course, on Saturday night, a week from tonight, will be our wonderful friend Andrew Harvey with us. So, thank you everybody for being with us. I'm going to go to gallery view for us all. Say goodbye, good night. Enjoy tomorrow. Make it a sacred Sunday by seeing the